Now available in paperback and Kindle, All About Marilyn. Learn all about the struggles of a faded former teen sitcom star in this absolutely fabulous 5-star screenplay. Get All About Marilyn in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com today. Tyler Perry is putting an $800 million expansion of his studio on hold. Now, Tyler Perry is the owner of Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta, and at Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta, Tyler Perry not only films many of his infamous films like his Medea films and films like Why Did I Get Married, but he also films many TV and movie productions for other studios who want to go out and save money by not having to film productions in Hollywood. And at Tyler Perry Studios, many films like Marvel Studios' Black Panther have been filmed there, and other productions from small independent filmmakers, and this has allowed Atlanta to become as strong a base for entertainment as Los Angeles and Hollywood have become. And Tyler Perry was doing so well as related to his own productions and going out and having a stage to film productions for other studios that he had planned an $800 million expansion of Tyler Perry Studios and was looking to build more sound stages on his Tyler Perry Studios in this business expansion. However, all of those plans were put on hold by Tyler Perry after he got a preview of OpenAI's Sora software. And after getting this preview of OpenAI's Sora software, Tyler Perry has decided to pause his business plan expansions for his studio and is waiting for some sort of action to be taken to deal with AI because he fears that he may wind up losing a lot of money if studios start adopting this AI software of Sora into their productions. Now, according to Tyler Perry, he says that this Sora software can basically create images on a level of real-life film, and this OpenAI software can create scenes and locations just based on whatever an individual types into it as related to an image on a keyboard. So, according to Tyler Perry, as presented in The Hollywood Reporter, he says that if a person wanted to go out and put their fingers to the keyboard like I do when I write stories, what they can do is create a scene that is set on the moon by just typing it into the keyboard, and Sora's AI software will create that location in an image that is on the level of real-life film, and he says that this AI software can also create locations all across the globe and make them as real life. And if this is possible with Sora's AI software, he fears that he may wind up losing a lot of money if he invests in an expansion of his Tyler Perry Studios, because Tyler Perry fears that lots of jobs will be lost if Hollywood adopts this Sora AI software. Now, when I look at Tyler Perry's fears, he does have a legitimate claim as related to fearing that people may possibly wind up losing their jobs if this software is implemented by Hollywood. However, what would really prevent this software from being implemented is the fact that we already have federal legal precedent that says that anything produced by AI is not copyrightable. Now, having a copyright is important for the business of Hollywood, and it's important for the business of Hollywood because any image that is copyrighted is owned by that individual, and it's owned by that individual, and since it's owned, that gives that person a right to create whatever, make money off whatever image that they create, and they can go out here and make that money because they are the sole owner of that property. And that's how authors and creators like myself can make money, because we own the rights to the characters that we create, like I have with Isis or John Haynes or Esteem. I own all of the rights to those characters, and I own all the rights to those characters because I created them, and I have a fixed, tangible piece of material to show that I have created this material. So that's where AI really has a glitch as related to its overall situation as related to film. Who would own that AI image? That's the critical question that would have to be hashed out in court. And again, it's already been hashed out for books. Nobody owns the copyright to that material because that material wasn't generated by a real person. And that same interpretation of law would apply to any material that would be created by AI because the software is creating the material and the material is not being created by a person. And when it comes to AI, it has a lot of limitations. It has limitations because AI is really limited to what it can only have been presented inside of what they see on related to the internet. I mean, AI can only create based on an aggregation of what it has been given. It cannot really create the way a human being can create. And that's where Hollywood would basically wind up being stuck in a situation with this Sora AI. You're only limited to what is being given to people right now, and you're only limited to all of what has been produced as far back as about 2023. So the whole AI software would be extremely limited, and we wouldn't be able to further expand entertainment. We wouldn't be able to expand creatively because if people have imaginations about what's going on now, and all of the material that's being produced would only possibly stop at a certain point and would not go any further. Moreover, when it comes to entertainment, you would have people going out here and trying to make images of old actors and old locations based on what the AI has been presented in aggregate. You wouldn't have people creating new material. So the AI is only limited to what man has created to a certain point, and that's what basically would prevent the AI from being a tool that the studios could use. And when it comes to AI, if the studios did decide to go out here and violate ethics as related to copyright law and violate copyright law, they would basically wind up not really being able to make a lot of money on any sort of AI production, because if all of these jobs are lost, like Tyler Perry is speculating, what's going to happen is you're not going to have anybody to be able to have money to go out here and buy tickets to these AI-generated movies. And it goes back to the critical question I've always asked as related to this whole quest of nerds to go into automation. If you go out here and you make all of these automated processes, then what person is going to have money to buy your shit? That is the question I asked as related to things like the automated processes of self-checkout that have proven to be a disaster. And in the case of AI-generated films, if there are no people working on those movies, people don't have money to spend to go to those movies. So yes, you can make a movie on AI, but if nobody has a job, and nobody has a job that allows them to make money, then nobody has any money to go out here and spend on these movies. And this is the dot that many of the tech nerds have not connected as related to AI. Yes, your AI can go out here and make an image on the same level of film, but if there are no humans to be able to afford to watch that film, then nobody is going to be able to care about that film, because people will be more concerned about more important things as related to their survival. Because if people don't have money, they don't have money for necessities. like their electric bill or their food. And if they don't have money for those necessities like their electric bill or their food, then they ain't gonna have no money for no internet to be able to watch no AI generated film. So the whole concept of an AI generated film basically is one that is created out of greed. And if anybody were to be able to use this technology, it would basically be used to make something that would not really help anyone. Because if you're having AI make the films, then where are the people gonna work? Critical question that many in Hollywood really aren't thinking about, because you have a lot of people who have tunnel vision, and you have nerds caught up in what they believe the technology can do, similar to what they did with the electric car. Many people were caught up in what the electric car could do until they realized that there was no technological infrastructure to hold up and maintain any of these cars. And they didn't really think critically about the overall care of lithium-ion batteries, which have been proven on larger scale to be unstable. That's something I learned with working with MacBook Pros for the last 10 years, with the first generation of these MacBook Pros, where I had the 2011, 2012 MacBook Pros. And those computers, they get these batteries that basically wind up either getting puffed up, or they wind up becoming inert bricks like this one I'm holding up in my hand, because these batteries are extremely unstable. And because they're extremely unstable, what they do is malfunction in two ways. Either they malfunction by getting really puffed up and just inflating, or they wind up rendering themselves inert, or in the most extreme case, in some cases, the chemicals inside them wind up igniting and winding up setting on fire. Those are the situations that people are having with the electric car that many of the oblivious nerds don't want to acknowledge. They just want the technology to work the same way that the AI types want the technology to work, because they want to save money. But the whole thing is that this technology is not something I would want put into place as film, because as we've seen with what they call deepfakes, these AI images can be used to manipulate facts and distort reality. And that's dangerous for everyone, because if this technology is allowed to go unchecked, people can use this technology like they did in the case of a Taylor Swift deepfake to try to go out here and malign the reputation of a celebrity. Or even worse, in the case of an alleged report as related to politics, they said something happened to Joe Biden that basically didn't happen. And that's where the ethical issues of AI really need to be dealt with in Congress. And I really do believe we do need a ban on this technology, because this technology can be used in a very dangerous way. It can be used, one, to malign the reputation of an individual, or two, it can be used to go out here and make fake events and fake news and put people's lives and safety in jeopardy. That's why this technology really needs federal regulation and I would say international regulation, because this technology in the wrong hands can be used to go out here and manipulate people's perception of reality and create a hoax or create chaos. That is the danger of AI. And while Tyler Perry may put his studio on hold, I believe that the studios really are not going to be hurt by this at all, because if this technology basically does something like create a very dangerous deepfake situation, or is used to create any sort of narrative, then this technology, again, would not be something that people would want put into place. And in the case of creating entertainment, there are legal issues, again, because AI material is not copyrightable. And since AI material is not copyrightable, no studio in their right mind would want to invest in it, because you're going to take a loss from minute one. And you're going to take a loss from minute one, because if it can't be copyrighted, if you don't have ownership, and you don't have ownership under U.S. copyright law currently, because copyright is something owned by an individual. It is owned by an individual who creates a fixed, tangible piece of material, like what I do whenever I create a book like an ISIS or STEAM or John Haynes series book. And when I create a material and I create a fixed tangible form of it, whether it be an ebook, a paperback, or an audiobook, that is a fixed tangible piece of material that I own. And since I own that material, and created that material, it's real. But something made by AI, by a person, isn't really real. No, it's just something that they made artificial. And that's where we get into a problem with AI. And again, people fought a strike to stop this AI, but Hollywood wants to continue pushing it. And yes, this software may be the next big technical thing, but the whole thing is it may be a big disaster like the electric car, because all it takes, again, is one hoax where people basically create a catastrophic event based on some fake news, and we will be seeing the end of AI and this thing being banned globally because there's just an ethics issue of somebody generating fake images of real people, because when it comes to film, people want to see real actors and real screenwriters and have real creativity, because films are not just made by somebody just writing something. No, when it comes to film, film is a collaborative process, and it's a collaborative process of producers, directors, writers, and actors coming together and them working together to create a material that just comes to life. That's what makes film different than me writing a book. I can write a book and I can have a story, but sometimes if you do the film and you have people working with you, you can make a better story because you have people working with you and telling you and giving you perspective on things. And that's something AI can't give you. It can't give you perspective because artificial intelligence isn't from real people. And real films are made by real people living real life, real actors who can go understand a character, real directors who have a vision for the kind of film they want to make. And AI doesn't have that kind of vision because a film by Tim Burton is different from a film by Martin Scorsese, and a film by a director like Jon Favreau is different from a Tim Burton or a Martin Scorsese, and each of these filmmakers have their own fingerprints, so AI basically sucks all of that creativity out of the room, because what you're getting is just people putting fingers to a keyboard, but you're not getting any of that real imagination, real creativity, and as I stated before in a previous video, real life experience, because storytelling comes from what you know, and it comes from your life experience. And if you haven't lived life, you're not going to be able to tell a story. And that's what we're getting with many of these comic books, where they call them SJWs, which some people call woke because of so-called diversity. But when I look at those books, it really just shows me what happens when you have a young person with no life experience. Because when you have no life experience, you don't know how to tell a story. And AI can only tell you a story aggregated based on the images that it sees, not on real life experience, because again, film, like books, is created by people who live real life experience, and real life experience is what people relate to. They don't relate to artificial images from people who never live life, and AI filmmaking would basically wind up taking the life out of film and take away jobs from people, because greedy people would think, oh, I can make all this money, but wind up making nothing, because again, if people don't have money and they don't relate to the material, nobody's going to buy the shitty movies made by these studios. And while Tyler Perry makes a lot of shitty movies, the AI movies would be even shittier, just like the AI images that I see all the time, because you cannot create an image based on what a computer has been programmed. No, you have to live real life, because real life is something that you cannot replicate with artificial intelligence. No, you need real experience, and real experience is what makes film come to life. Real experience is where you get the ideas for the story. Real experience is where you get the director who can show you a vision for what story they want to tell. real experience is what's going to give you the picture of the real world. And again, people want to go see real life. Nobody wants to see an artificial virtual world. No, people want real, and real is what people want to see. And real isn't stuck by the limitations of computers. No, real is outside in the real world. And that's why I believe that Tyler Perry has nothing to fear, because people want real when it comes to life. And real life, while it has its drawbacks, is the best thing ever made, because God blesses everyone with real life. And he blessed everybody to live real life because he wants you to get his gift of salvation and receive eternal life. And you can't receive that gift of eternal life in a virtual world, an artificial world, because that artificial world is an evil imagination of the devil. And this artificial world basically will take away your life, having you just going out here trying to get hits of dopamine. And again, this artificial AI movie would be a disaster, because again, in order to experience a movie, you need to go to a real movie theater. And if people ain't got no job again and ain't got no money, nobody's going to go to a real movie theater to watch an artificial movie. Now, if you want to pick up some of my real stories written by a real person, you can find the books in the ISIS series, the STEAM series, the John Haynes series, the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, my black sorority novel, The Thetas, my black business novel, Recipe for Success, and my black vampire novel, Eternal Night. You can find all of those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you want to see me make real videos, you can continue to support the channel by going to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App and dropping a real donation of real money by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, All About Nikki, a fabulous first season. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air meets Clueless in this absolutely fabulous African-American 1990s teen sitcom. Get all 13 episodes of All About Nikki, the fabulous first season, in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, The Temptation of John Haynes. Give in to temptation and pick up this action-packed African-American paranormal romance. Get The Temptation of John Haynes in paperback and e-readers today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.